Good morning and happy Wednesday, happy Mercury day. How's everybody feeling this morning? Things are going to be a little challenging today, I will warn you. So it's a good thing that you're tuning into this live stream to be aware of the energy of the day so that you can be prepared for it rather than reacting to it. Who do we have this morning? Safe is here, giving me a thumbs up. Good morning, Safe. If you are on the stream as well, come on over, say hi in the comments. I just learned how to bring them up on the screen and respond to you. I've been saying all week that we are in beta with this Transits Today live stream, so still figuring out all the technical things on the back end, figuring out all the fun little tricks that I can do. And so if you are watching on Facebook or YouTube, just say hello in the comments and I'll bring your comment up on the screen and say hello back. Or you can ask questions as we go along and I will be able to respond to them and show everybody who's asking that question. So very exciting stuff over here. If you can't tell, I'm excited. I can now respond to your comments on the screen. But let's talk about what's going on with the energy today. A lot of what you felt yesterday is going to carry over into your Wednesday. We have this Mercury Mars conjunction that we focused a lot on in our stream yesterday, but essentially when Mercury and Mars form a conjunction, it's a blending of these two energies. Mars energy is that warrior energy. It's that fighter energy. It gives us the drive, the stamina, the courage to move forward. And Mercury energy is more fleeting. It's day to day. It's fast. It's literally mercurial. It's basically as what am I trying to say? This is the Mars Mercury energy, right? All my thoughts are coming to me so rapidly, I almost can't get them out of my mouth. So you might have felt that verbally, mentally yesterday. Either it could have looked like extreme mental stamina or the ability to just keep pushing forward in your work, keep working. It also could have looked like physical stamina or physical energy. I know one of my friends, Martina, texted me yesterday saying that her almost 2-year-old was so energized yesterday, couldn't stop moving around, almost agitated. That's the energy of the Mercury-Mars conjunction. And it's interesting. I told her, keep telling me how your baby is acting each day or your toddler is acting each day, because I really do feel like children are more sensitive to the transits. They're more sensitive to energy in general. And so if she's okay with it, I told her I'd love to do kind of a little experiment and see what his mood is like based on the transits. And I know his chart very well too, so I can also give her some insight onto how the different planets are playing into his chart. So that's why it's really great if you know your birth chart. You can understand, okay, Mercury and Mars are conjunct in Scorpio right now. What planets do I have in Scorpio? What role does Scorpio play in my chart? And what area of my life will this energy really impact? So speaking of Scorpio, right now we have what's called a stellium in Scorpio, which is 3 or more planets in one sign. Thank you so much. I'm going to call you JC Conway because I don't know if that's your real name, but thank you so much. He says, proud of you for following your dream. Oh, Shauna's on here as well. Good morning, Shauna. Thank you so much for joining us. So that's what I was saying. It's really great if you know your chart because you can then see how the transits of the day are affecting your personal makeup. And so we have this stellium in Scorpio right now, 3 or more planets in Scorpio, which means the Scorpio energy is strong. We have the sun in Scorpio. It's Scorpio season for another 10, 11 days now. And then we also have Mercury and Mars forming this conjunction in Scorpio. Well, the other big transit of the day is that these 2 planets that are merging energies, that are firing things up in our lives, are both forming a square to Saturn today. So let me show you what that looks like if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. You can see on our screen here, I pulled up the chart of the day. Mercury and Mars are over here in Scorpio, both at 7 degrees, forming this conjunction with one another. And then if you look over to the Aquarius house of the chart, Saturn is at 7 degrees Aquarius. You'll also notice something else at 7 degrees Aquarius, and that is the moon. So we have the moon conjunct Saturn, Mercury conjunct Mars, and all of them forming a square to one another. Squares bring challenges, they bring tension. Today might be a day full of challenges or tension. It could look like obstacles as well. Really, this energy is going to feel like you have one foot out the door and one foot in your past. Part of you is ready to launch forward at record speed. You are ready to drive towards your goals. You have the stamina to achieve them. You have all these thoughts and downloads coming in with this conjunction over here. You are on your game mentally. You are ready to go to battle, which could mean that you're ready to literally fight other people, or you're ready to push towards your goals. However, the foot in the past comes from Saturn, and right now the moon conjunct Saturn. So you might have woken up this morning feeling a little twinge of negativity. Saturn can do that. Saturn's very practical. It can be very negative, and it rules our limits or our boundaries. It's important, right? It plays an important role in the solar system. We've talked about this before, but Saturn's magnetic pole actually keeps other planets from crashing into the sun. So it shows us the importance of limits. It shows us the importance of boundaries. However, when our moon forms a conjunction to Saturn, it's not the best feeling. We can kind of be in that limited mindset of negativity. We can kind of be a little bit depressed. We might be focused on a past version of ourselves, and Mercury and Mars want us to push forward, but Saturn tells us, hey, slow down. It's a slow moving planet. It likes to go slow and steady. So when the moon and Saturn merge, we can feel a little bit disconnected from our feelings, especially with both of these bodies in Aquarius, which can be very mental, and it can kind of disconnect us from our body or our intuition. And so we might be focused on who we want to be rather than who we are in this moment, or who we used to be rather than who we are in this moment. And so Mercury, Mars, firing it up. Saturn, slowing it down. That's essentially the energy of the day. Mars, and I'm going to go into kind of when Mercury squares Saturn, what happens, and when Mars squares Saturn, what happens. So you can kind of understand the intricacies of this energy. So we have we have like 4 transits all happening at the same time. Conjunctions, squares, it's a mashup of energy today, and it's a lot of intense energy, with Scorpio being one half of it and Aquarius being the other half of it. So if it was just Mercury forming a square to Saturn, it would bring tension or pessimism to our thoughts and communications, because Mercury is the messenger. It rules our thoughts. It rules how we speak, how we write. Saturn brings that tension. It slows us down. It's really not a good day for starting collaborative conversations. If you already have good rapport with somebody, or you feel safe with somebody, you should be fine. But basically, it's not the best for communication when Mercury forms a square to Saturn. And these transits are going to be with us. We're going to feel this energy for most of the day today. So although, this is coming exact, this Mercury square Saturn at 9 o'clock this morning, we will feel the effects of its energy all day, especially because Saturn is such a slow moving planet. We can use the energy of Mercury square Saturn to our advantage, because there's a darkness and a light to every transit. We can hone in on the details of a project or a plan. Saturn likes to have that structure, that foundation, that plan. And Mercury is all about the details. It's fast moving. It's getting stuff done. It's the little guy almost running around the sun. And so it's really focused on the details and all of the little information that builds the big picture. Saturn's influence can also help us make sure that there are no cracks in our foundation. This is especially important if you're trying to manifest something right now, especially ahead of the 11/11 portal tomorrow, a huge day for manifestation. If you're thinking a lot about what you want to call in, and you're thinking about these big visions, especially with the moon in Aquarius, internally we're like, we are thinking about our future. We are thinking differently. We're thinking about the collective, but Mercury forming a square to Saturn can help us make sure that there are no cracks in the foundation, that there are no flaws in whatever plan that we are calling in. I just realized I forgot to close the door to my office, so we have little puppies running around. Hold on. All right, we're back. That's a live stream for you. Dogs are getting their coffee, and I will get my coffee after this live stream is over. All right, so Mercury square Saturn makes it so we are having some challenges when it comes to communication. We're being forced to slow down when it comes to our communication, to really stop and make sure that we have a sturdy foundation. Mars square Saturn brings a little bit of a different energy. It can bring conflict, physical conflict, not necessarily a physical fight, but conflict between you and another person. And it can also drum up a lot of our fears. Mars is the planet of courage. It is that warrior archetype. You're ready to run into battle. But while Saturn is much more responsible and wants us to have a solid footing and a plan before we run into battles. So that could look like fears or limiting beliefs coming up. This is a very activating transit for our ego, because there's part of us that wants to push forward, that has these big dreams, that has this vision we're calling in, we're manifesting. And then with Mercury and Mars forming this conjunction, we have the stamina, we have the courage to make it happen. But Saturn forming this square might bring up some limiting beliefs. It can act as our ego coming up and saying, this doesn't feel safe. So if challenges or limiting beliefs do come up today, make sure that you aren't fully believing them right away. Stop, slow down, use that Saturn energy, and look at the lesson. Look at what challenges are coming up and use them as redirections or just a learning moment. Okay, I keep having this limiting belief coming up. It's time for me to release that limiting belief. That's Mercury conjunct Mars again. I feel like the past couple of days I've been talking so quickly because of this Mercury Mars energy. So challenges are almost inevitable today. Those challenges could look different depending on where you're at in life. It could look like a conflict between you and another person. It could look like an internal challenge, a limiting belief, doubt coming up. It could look like challenges just simply communicating, just getting your words out. That could be an effect of this transit. So Mercury and Mars form their exact conjunction today, actually. I know we talked a lot about this yesterday, but today is when the exact conjunction will happen around 5 o'clock. So that energy is still very potent today. We kind of got prepared for it, got a little taste of it yesterday, but our thoughts and our words are going to feel faster, more intense, more direct. Meanwhile, Saturn comes in and forms this square to that transit and slows us down or brings some negativity or challenges into the picture. So I wouldn't be surprised if people get into a few tiffs today. I wouldn't be surprised. But again, knowing about this energy can help you be prepared for it rather than react to it. And something I always try to remind people is that it's not just you experiencing this energy, it's everybody being affected by the current transit. So if someone you know, if someone you love is acting more irritable, more negative than normal, just understand that they are feeling the effects of this too. And hey, you can point them towards this video and let them know that they're not crazy. There's a reason that they might be feeling a little bit more negative today or have a harder time getting out of those limiting beliefs. The moon is in Aquarius, as we talked about currently, as you can see, forming a conjunction to Saturn down here at the bottom of your screen. So when the moon forms that conjunction to Saturn, as I mentioned, we can wake up feeling a little bit more depressed or negative, even fearful. We can definitely have those doubts coming up. We have just, I can't emphasize this enough. This is such an intense mashup of energies today. The moon rules our internal self. Saturn rules our limits and boundaries. So this could also look like an issue with boundaries coming up for you today. Somebody else could have this Mercury Mars energy and they want to push you, they want to push your boundaries. Saturn conjunct the moon can help us uphold our internal boundaries, but a lot of times that can look like conflict, right? When we say, okay, I'm not okay with this, when we say no, and someone is in very much a yes mode coming at us, that can look like conflict. So just be mindful of this. Again, everybody is feeling this energy. Good morning. What about the Uranus opposition? Let's see. Thank you so much for your comment. So we do have Uranus, as you can see on the chart, somewhat opposite to Mercury and Mars. We felt that Uranus opposition a little bit more intensely over the new moon last week. It was forming an exact opposition to the new moon in Scorpio. So that could have brought about some changes depending on how the new moon affected you. It could have brought about changes when it comes to stepping into your own power. It could have brought about changes when it comes to releasing anything energetically that's been holding you back. It could have brought about transformation. It could have brought about some intense disruption. So we really felt the energy of that Uranus opposition last week during the new moon, but it is still opposite this Mercury-Mars conjunction, which is making this a really potent time for change. And it's kind of exciting, honestly. When we think of change, Uranus is like the rebel. It's like the disruptor. And so it can kind of shake things up a bit, as the energy is already doing. We're already seeing a lot of tumultuous energy in the skies. Uranus will definitely play into that, although it's not making an exact opposition to Mercury and Mars. I believe later today, the moon is forming a square to Uranus. That will be at about 4 o'clock Pacific time. So let me speed up our chart here and show you what that looks like in a few hours. So we'll jump ahead about 6 hours here. You can see the moon moving. The whole chart moves because I have this set to my geographical area right now. So we'll go ahead a couple more hours to about 4 o'clock this afternoon, and you can see the moon is now at 12 degrees in Aquarius, forming this square to Uranus in Taurus. So we will definitely feel that Uranus energy today, and the moon forming a square to Uranus can bring about even more rebellious energy. Uranus is the rebel, it's the disruptor, it's forward thinking, it's innovative. And so oftentimes that disruption can bring about positive humanitarian change or positive change for the collective. But when it comes to our own internal feelings, when it comes to the moon, ourself, forming this square to Uranus, it can come in the form of emotional disruptions. We will crave freedom and excitement, but this square to Saturn really reminds us of our limits. Basically, we will want to kind of do things impulsively, maybe get a point across just to get that boost of endorphins. Do you ever find yourself, pushing someone or engaging in some sort of conflict and wondering, why am I doing this right now? Jamie says, yep, definitely. If you ever wonder that, just know that physically, when you get into a conflict with someone else, your body responds. Your body starts sending off all these different chemicals. It starts firing off all these different neurons. And even if it is a negative experience in your rational mind, your physical body is like, okay, let's go. Especially with Mercury and Mars forming this conjunction, we're already in that mindset. We are ready to go. Saturn is like, no, stop. These are all the reasons why you can't move forward. And then our moon square Uranus is like, no, but I want to. I'm the inner rebel. I'm going to push forward. I'm going to prove my point just so I can get this burst of excitement. That's basically the day in like one sentence. So just with this moon forming a square to Uranus this afternoon, as you can see here on the chart, the moon here forming a square to Uranus, make sure you're not acting impulsively. Like really try to slow down and use that Saturn influence to be more practical, be more measured in your responses or in your actions. Just really try not to act out. And remember that all the discomfort of today is only temporary. This is just for a few hours when it comes to the moon transits, and it's just for a couple days when it comes to this Mercury-Mars conjunction forming a square to Saturn. So, discomfort is inevitable. It's part of the human experience. Today might be a day that reminds you of that because we have all of this internal energy that we are ready to put out in the world, and Saturn is telling us all the reasons why we can't. Another transit I want to point out today, it's actually happening midday, is that the Aquarius moon is forming a sextile to Chiron. So let's show you what that looks like on our chart. Go back to, I believe it's 9 degrees. So at about 11 o'clock this morning, 12 o'clock Pacific time, you can see the moon in Aquarius forming this sextile to Chiron. Now, Chiron is a minor body, a minor planet. It's an icy outer body in our solar system. And it's called the wounded healer because it really forces us to take a look at our trauma, take a look at our pain. But once we are able to accept it and understand it, that can become our power. That can be the thing that helps us heal others. Sharing our story can be our greatest gift to the world because it can show other people they're not alone. Our own pain is what makes us our best healer. That's the lesson of Chiron. So the moon forming this sextile to Chiron, especially with all the Saturn energy kind of putting us in our past and putting us in a mindset thinking about our ancestors, our lineage, past actions, maybe past mistakes even. The Aquarius moon gets some support from Chiron by midday, reminding us of the challenges we've already overcome. Chiron is here to say, you are strong. You've already been through this before. You can do this. It might also bring up a few, okay, you've had these feelings before. You've had these doubts before. You've had these limiting beliefs before. It could cause some trauma responses with the moon connecting with Chiron. So if you feel like you're going into that trauma response, that could even be what we just talked about with, pushing people just to get a reaction, just to feel something, that can be a trauma response. It's almost like gaining control of the situation. And we know that Mercury and Mars and Scorpio love control. They love to control the conversation. They love to be in control of the physical. They love to take action to be in control, especially with this conjunction. So Saturn also is very restricting in the fact that it likes control by limiting us. So there's going to be this duality between control and freedom today. The moon in Aquarius wants us to be free. It wants us to expand our mind. We can envision our highest self. We can envision the life we want to call in. Saturn in Aquarius is like, okay, yeah, I support that vision, but do you actually have what it takes to do it? Do you actually have the foundation to make it happen? Do you know what steps you're going to take? It's making us question ourselves, doubt ourselves, have these limiting beliefs come up. And then Mercury and Mars and Scorpio, like I said, just want to control everything by taking action, by talking, by blurting all the energy out there. So we kind of went in a circle when it comes to our transits of the day, which seems right on point with the energy, me just kind of going for it. Let's see what everybody's saying in the chat. I love Shauna. Hi, puppies. I don't know if you guys were able to see them when they ran in here, but they got to go on a little coffee run this morning. So they're very excited. That's why I had to close the door, because we probably would have had a little puppy right here, not leaving us alone during this live stream. Maybe you would have enjoyed that. Let me know in the comments. Should I bring my dogs on sometimes? Because I'm obsessed with dogs. I love seeing other people's dogs. I just don't know if you all feel the same way. So maybe one day they'll come on. So let's just do a little bit of an overview of the current situation right now. Mercury and Mars are forming this conjunction with each other. The conjunction is exact tonight at 5 o'clock, but we've been feeling this energy over the past 24 hours, over the past day. It looks like thoughts coming in faster than maybe we'd like. It looks like taking action. It looks like direct communication. It looks like this surge of energy and almost restlessness when it comes to our physicality and our mentality. Today, that conjunction forms a square to Saturn. So while Mercury and Mars want us to speed up, Saturn pumps the brakes and tells us to slow down, makes us check to make sure we have a solid footing, and might bring up some limiting beliefs or doubts. Tonight, tonight the moon in Aquarius forms a square to Saturn, which could bring about a change. It could force a change. This could be in the form of a disruption, or it could be in the form of some sort of innovative thought or transformation that allows you to see a different perspective. So with all of these energies, there is a negative and a positive. Let's talk about the negative first. The negative of today is that there are likely to be challenges in your path. There might be conflict with other people. There might be things that come up that slow you down. Just remember that challenges, obstacles can be redirections towards your highest path. Nothing is by mistake. If you keep hitting an obstacle while you're trying to reach a goal, maybe reassess that goal. Maybe that's the universe telling you this isn't for you. But if you know in your heart, in your soul, this is for you, Mercury and Mars can help you keep pushing forward and push away those limiting beliefs. And that could look like that transformation when it comes to your mindset, knowing that you are worthy of your goals, knowing that those fears and those limiting beliefs do not serve you, and that you want to and need to keep pushing forward. So that's sort of the energy we're dealing with today. Let's talk about tomorrow and what's to come, and then we will pull a card for our message of the day. Good morning. My mom is watching. Hi, good morning. All right. So tomorrow we have the 1111 portal. It's 1111, that's the date. But this is bringing a really powerful opportunity for manifestation for a couple different reasons. And we'll go into this more deeply in tomorrow's transits, but just to give you a preview of just the energy and how to prepare for it today. So 11 is a master number in numerology. 111 or 1111 is also called an angel number. If you see it a lot, on clocks, in your car, on license plates, it's a sign of awakening. It's a sign that you're being guided. It's a sign that your angels are nearby. And so a lot of people in the spiritual community are saying 1111 is going to be a moment of mass ascension, of awakening. And so this is an opportunity to ascend as well. That could be by putting your manifestations out into the universe, putting that energy out there, or just tapping into your own spirituality and what that means to you. So how does that play into today's energy? Well, if we look at the chart and we go over everything we just talked about, today is bringing challenges. These challenges could be a chance to clear the path ahead, to call in what's best for us on 11/11 and moving into 2022. So don't discount challenges as an opportunity to redirect. These obstacles could also just be showing us what limiting beliefs we're still holding on to that are blocking our manifestations. Manifesting is all about the energy you're in, right? Calling in the life you want means you have to get into the energy of the life you want. So today's energy might make it kind of hard to do that, but it can also show us what's holding us back energetically from manifesting the life we desire. What fears, what doubts, what limiting beliefs do we keep telling ourselves? What are these stories that keep coming up for us that are stopping us from really believing that we are worthy of what we want to manifest? Those are some of the lessons that will likely come up today, because all of the squares in our transits are bringing those tensions, bringing those challenges, but those can also be our greatest lessons. Challenges can be our greatest lessons. So whatever challenges come up today, really pay attention to them and ask them what they're trying to teach you. This could be especially powerful if you are calling in something specific for the 11/11 portal. I would recommend really paying attention to your emotional state today and to the energy around you today. really try to release any tension, release what's not serving you today by observing it and allowing it when it comes up and giving it that attention so you don't have to hold on to it anymore, especially after tomorrow. So tomorrow, the moon stays in Aquarius. Right now, we're coming into a first quarter moon, which is a time to take action. Today will be very active. We'll want to take a lot of action today. But this first quarter moon will be with us on 11/11 as well, helping us take action towards our manifestations. And so some of that action could be a release, a releasing of energy, an intentional release, right? And so maybe today is also the time to take action in the form of making sure that you have a solid foundation for whatever it is you want to manifest. Even just baby steps. You know, Saturn loves those baby steps. It's very slow and steady. So even just 1 or 2 baby steps in the right direction can really help you get into the right energy to manifest that big dream or that big vision that you have tomorrow for 11/11. And tomorrow is going to be really potent for manifestation also because it's one of the last opportunities we have to set intentions and call in what we desire before eclipse season. Talked about this a little bit in the past, but we have an eclipse on the full moon on November 19th and another eclipse on the new moon on December 4th. So there's going to be almost a month stretch where our luminaries, our sun and our moon are blocked. And that's really not great for manifesting because it blocks what we're trying to illuminate, what we're trying to bring to light. So 11/11 tomorrow is going to be the day that you want to set intentions for what you're calling in for 2022. You can also set some intentions Friday, maybe into the weekend, but after that, as we get closer to the full moon, it's really not the best idea to really actively try to call in what you want to achieve or what you want to desire, or what you do desire, not what you want to desire. So tomorrow's the day. Tomorrow is the day to manifest. Today is the day to just sit with whatever's coming up for you and acknowledge what you don't want to move forward with. That could come in the form of challenges. I keep saying that, but I want to warn you, people could activate you today. People could piss you off today. You could piss people off today without even trying. The energy is really intense today, but intense energy can kind of get us ready for something big. So lean into whatever comes up for you, embrace it, allow it, love it, right? Even if it's a challenge, it's showing you something. It's here to teach you a lesson. And we'll talk a little bit about what we have in store for 11/11 for you because I'm really, really excited for what we're launching tomorrow. But first, let's pull a card. Again, I got to get up. I got to grab a deck. Let's pull a card from, we'll do it from the Universe Has Your Back deck. Yeah, I think so. I'm feeling it. Okay, just a simple message for today because Lord knows we already have enough messages coming through our own brains right now. This is Gabby Bernstein's The Universe Has Your Back deck, just shuffling it up for you. If you have any recommendations of other oracle decks that I need to have so I could share them with you, please comment because I'm really looking for some new fun ones. And I kind of have a little bit of a problem buying too many of these, but you know, it's like a write-off. I'm using it for work, right? Okay. So let's see. What do we have today? What message do we need to know today with this Mercury Mars conjunction, bringing in all the energy, and Saturn bringing up all of our fears? What do we need to know? I love this card. It says, when I lean toward love, I am led. When I lean toward love, I am led. What a powerful reminder. It's going to be easy to lean away from love today. It's going to be very easy to do that. Saturn's going to bring up those doubts. Saturn's going to tell us all the reasons why it's not going to work. Saturn is going to bring up some negativity, some limiting beliefs. Mercury and Mars can make us just be a little bit overboard about how we're communicating, how we're acting, how we're expressing. So all the challenges that we've been talking about can make it easy to step away from love. But remember, when you lean toward love, you are led. And this can kind of play hand in hand with talking about the lessons that come from challenges. When challenges arise, when conflict arises, if you can remember that you are a loving being, if you can remember the love inside you, it's much easier to see the lesson in the challenges. So lean towards love today. The card says to do it. The universe wants us to. And if you're feeling any confusion about what it is you want to call in on the 1111 portal, lean towards love as well, because it will lead you. What makes you feel loved? What do you love doing? And a lot of times when we're ready to take that next big step, when we have this drive, this passion, this stamina to move forward, that's a lot of times when our ego kind of flares up and tells us that we're not worthy of it or that it's not safe. So remember that your ego is not your truth and that love is your truth. Lean towards that love and let go of any ego trips that are telling you that you can't achieve what you want to achieve. You can call in whatever you want to. You can manifest whatever you want to in this life. Leaning into love really is the key to it. So that is our transit forecast of the day. I hope that it wasn't too chaotic because I'm certainly feeling the effects of the Mercury-Mars conjunction, and I hope it gave you a little dose of perspective and positivity ahead of what's likely to be a bit of a tumultuous day. Tomorrow on 11/11, we'll talk about the power of the 11/11 portal, how the astrology transits are literally playing into it perfectly. We have the moon conjunct Jupiter, which is just bringing all the abundance, all the optimism. The tides will really turn tomorrow when it comes to our mood, and the transits are just setting us up perfectly for manifesting. And then tomorrow afternoon, 11/11 at 11:11 a.m. We'll be right back here wherever you're watching, and I have an incredible guest to share with you for our premiere of The Spiritual Journalist. It's a live podcast style stream, and we're talking to Kat Golick. She's an energy healer, and you can look into her work on Instagram at Crystal Rising or crystalrising.com. She is amazing. She is the embodiment of a light worker. She has been such a mentor and such a light in my life and helped me in my own spiritual journey. And I'm so excited for you to meet her and for her to guide us through the energy of this 11/11 portal. Really tap into the energy of the day of 11/11 and help us boost our manifestations even more. And also heal ourselves at the same time. This isn't just about manifesting in the future. It's also about being where we are and healing the present. So I hope you'll join us tomorrow at 7:30 for the transits, for a look at what's going on with the astrology behind the 11/11 portal. And then again at 11:11 on the dot, we'll be talking with Kat. And I'm just seriously so excited for you to meet her and for you to experience all the wisdom she has to offer. But until then, stay curious, and I will see you right back here tomorrow. Instagram. I appreciate all of your commentary, all of your feedback. I was able to see some of your comments. We have Bravely Beautiful brand